Today's stories include Everything is an Xbox. I played the new Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and Pokemon trading card game Pocket finally reveals its future plans. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome back to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, November 14th, 2024. I am an Xbox and I'm joined by another Xbox, Greg Miller.
Hello, Tim. This is a big day for me. Being able to announce that I'm finally an Xbox.
Oh.
Now, Tim.
Oh, no, where's it go?
Do you want to see where my USB-C port is?
I do.
Oh my God. I thought you'd stop, man. You're not the one.
Twitch. We can't do that.
The rules are out the window.
I guess you're right.
You know what? What can you do on Twitch? What can't you do? Who can be in the White House? Who can't be? It doesn't matter.
The things that I've seen people do on streaming platforms, I'm not sure what they are. But Twitter has went downhill. Barrett's playing Greg via his butt. I've been shocked in the last couple weeks how quickly, whether it's Twitter or my algorithm on Twitter, have devolved into just clips of streamers I do not know doing insane things on stream.
Tell me about it, Slow.
Man, it's honestly, things are jiggling in ways I didn't know they could.
There it
right?
is. There
it's
it is.
a lot. Things are going places I didn't know that they should.
Talk to me about this. A long time ago, you, me, Gia, and Jen were down in Music City, Nashville, having a lovely steak dinner, and you introduced the concept that everybody has two sides of their TikTok, their hobby side and their horny side, right?
Yes.
And like, you know, whatever that, however graphic, and we all went through our TikToks
There's a Venn
together.
diagram. You know, there's this a meeting ground in the middle.
We all went through our things, and it was like, oh yeah, I follow this. Okay, and it was like funny and ha 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 ha. When I go into when I'm on my normal Instagram feed and I see one of our friends, one of our clips, Chris Van Vliet interviewing Diamond Dallas Page, I click on that and I watch it. Sometimes I forget that I'm on Instagram and I swipe up, and within 2 swipes, I'm into the most sexually explicit Instagram, and I am my Instagram. Like, you can go to my follow page. It's all Superman. Yeah. It's all fucking Superman and James Gunn fan art, and it's like all of a sudden though the Instagram reels like, oh, this guy's horny.
The reels,
like, not horny like the TikTok horny.
No, I get
horny
it.
Like, this guy needs to see people as close to fucking as they can without fucking.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's the thing about Twitter. It's like there's just no rules.
Well,
like,
it's Instagram though.
Well, yeah, but Twitter you're allowed to show anything. So it's straight up is fucking.
Yeah.
Instagram though, the reels thing. I'm with you. Like I think Instagram's algorithm fantastic. The amount of products I've bought because they know what I want.
Yeah, they find what you're
great stuff. I feel like they've suggested so many awesome retro game pages for me, Pokemon stuff, like things that I actually want. It's been great. But you're right. You go to the reels, the moment that you watch a reel you want to watch and you swipe up, it's no man's land. Yeah. There is no consistency. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't know what's going on.
These shorts.
It's wild stuff.
See, I don't get the horny reels. Whenever I see a reel and it's like a meme and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood for just like a bunch of internet goofs, I'll swipe up and then it's just a bunch of dog videos.
Oh.
And it's like, it's nice, but I'm like, I'm not really in the mood for dog videos right now.
See, look at that's my Discover
all
page.
It is, man.
Curated perfectly of Superman, Brandon Routh, cosplayer, and the James Gunn thing.
Yeah.
Bunch of Cinnabuns. I don't know what that's about.
Like, literally Cinnabuns.
Literally Cinnabuns. John Cena. But then it's like, you go over here, I'm going to, if I called it Chris Van Vliet, there you are. What's up, CVV? Talking to somebody. I swipe up. Should we be worried about this? And it's look, it's just, again, it's titties.
Look at mine Discover page.
Palms.
It's just an insane amount of Pomeranians, and then things you didn't know about Pokemon's Johto region. Everybody, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through all the video game news that you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do,
the season to be naughty. What the hell is going on?
They're not wrong, Greg. Think about it that way. Ho, ho, ho.
Jen, I'm bringing home the controller.
Support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live, and you get a daily exclusive show. It's called Gregway. It's a great time, everyone. For a chance to be part of this show, you can submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube super chats as we go. A little housekeeping for you. The Visual Triangle merch drop is here. I have been wearing the hoodie the last couple of days. I absolutely love it. You can get it right now on kindafunny.com/store. This entire line will only be here for a limited amount of time. There also is a very fun little Easter egg on the website. Barrett just showed it for a second, but if you go to kindafunny.com/store, you can see exactly what we're talking about. Get some context for what you might be seeing right now. You can also buy cool merch and get a lot of cool compliments from all your cool friends. Or if you don't have any cool friends, people on the street will see you and they'll be like, that shirt's so cool, you want to be friends? And all of a sudden, you have cool friends.
That's awesome.
That's how friendship works, everybody. After today's Games Daily, you'll get GAMESCAST. We're finally doing it, everybody, unless somehow
I'll believe it when I
pull
see
some
it.
shit
I'll believe
and I
when I
change
see
the
it.
plan. We're going to do our GAMESCAST about fair versus greedy game monetization. So you're going to want to be here for that, whether we do the episode or not. I'm sure it's going to be a fun time. Then the stream after that's going to be the boys dropping back into Call of Duty Warzone. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you get today's Gregway, which is going to be...
It is about me, first off, talking to Cozy Bear Pokemon, and then it gets into a discussion about social media in 2024 from the eyes of Greg Miller.
Love that. Shout out to D. Willie in the chat.
D. Willie.
I see you, bro. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today, we're brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Top Golf, Marvel Snap, and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Story number 1, one that makes me very happy.
Ooh.
Xbox continues its push beyond consoles with new ad campaign. This comes from Tom Warren at The Verge. There is a trailer that goes along with this. Barrett, I would like to play the trailer, but we should definitely mute it because we will get got.
Which song is it?
It's the You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That.
Do you want me to sing it?
Classic,
Or would that also get us dinged? I
think that should be fine.
I can generalize it if you want.
All right, let's try it. Barrett, do you want to pull up the video? Greg, you ready?
Yeah. Count me in.
I mean, it's already going.
You got this thing over there, a thing over there. And guess what? You have a lot of hair and things over here. And now you got the thing. And then you're in the outside playing with the stuff. And this is the thing, and it's over there. This is fair use, and that's over there.
Do you
you're
know
in the
the
coffee
song?
shop, you're doing that thing there. Well, yeah, but I have to like fair use it. Like I have to generalize
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
Like,
this,
where we
this
wouldn't
is
get
like
sued.
beyond fair use. This is just like we're in a different like planet. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm just saying. If I sang it perfectly, what would happen?
We would get struck.
Thank
I
you
guess.
very much.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
A risk I'm willing to take.
What's the thing we got struck for the other day? I had to share money with for somebody.
Rockin' Robin.
Rockin'
Rockin'
Robin.
Robin, dude. You played it for fucking 10 seconds.
Twice.
Microsoft has been trying to expand Xbox to multiple devices for more than 5 years now. And now it's launching a marketing campaign to make it very clear that it thinks every screen is an Xbox now. A new, quote, this is an Xbox campaign is launching today to position the Xbox brand as a way to play games across multiple devices instead of just an Xbox console. This is an Xbox invites people to play with Xbox across multiple devices and screens, explains Craig McNary, Senior Director of Xbox Marketing. It showcases the evolution of Xbox as a platform that extends across devices with bold, iconic, fun visuals and a lighthearted tone. Microsoft has created a series of ads that will appear online, on digital billboards, and even on the sides of buses. Even on the sides of buses. That are designed to make it clear that laptops, TVs, handheld gaming PCs, and even VR headsets can now be considered an Xbox. It's the latest step in Microsoft's ongoing gaming strategy to reach players beyond the Xbox console, something that started with the introduction of Xbox Cloud Gaming more than 6 years ago. You can see they have, in addition to that trailer, there's a commercial.
Cat box.
They have a bunch of imagery as well for marketing purposes for this campaign.
Who calls it a cat box?
Yeah, litter box. But you understand, I mean.
Yeah.
They don't want to put litter
We
on
all
a
get
poster.
it. Yeah,
So,
they know what
so
you're
they
thinking.
launched this today?
Yeah.
Is the whole thing, you know, I got a tease of this early yesterday.
Oh.
This was already at a bus stop. This is an Xbox for your lap, was one that I saw yesterday. And I saw it for a second. I was like, huh, that's weird.
You
Because,
could have
like,
broke embargo
I was
there.
going to say, Bear, like, come on, be a journalist.
I mean,
the news happened in front of you.
I didn't think anything
I
of
saw
it.
a dog running down the street today. I just reported it. That's journalism. You know what I mean? I called 911 the other night because there was a tree on fire over by SF State.
Whoa. Damn.
Good
Citizen
Samaritan.
Journal. I'll narc on everybody. Except that
Trees.
dog. That dog, I was like, go get him.
The only thing it made me think of was like, oh, it reminds me of like a lot of like the ads that we see around SF that definitely feel like they were generated by like AI and don't really make a lot of sense. So that's why I didn't really think anything of it. So I'm sorry. I failed as a journalist yesterday.
It's okay.
That's why I'm not the #1 games journalist.
It's true.
There's always next time, Barrett. I love this. In addition to this, there's also merch line that they dropped with this, where you can get a shirt that says "I am an Xbox" or "I'm not an Xbox," And I do love the commitment to that. You can see it here.
Fuck, send me the link right now. I'm buying it.
Which one are you getting?
This isn't. Oh.
This is not an Xbox, or this is an Xbox?
I like this as an Xbox because then people will push my buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to know where Greg's buttons are.
Oh,
everybody.
you already know everybody.
But yeah, so they have fun with this and whatever. Cool. I want to commend them for this because I think that this is a much needed and simple but brilliant line of marketing for them for where Xbox currently are at and what I think that they need to achieve, which is educating people that do not talk about video games every day.
Yep.
That you don't need an actual Xbox to be able to play Xbox games.
Do you think it's clear enough?
I think that over time, to Barrett's point, when you see one out of context, it's a little weird. But when you start to see if that commercial plays during
NFL
football games,
yep.
and then you start to see the one-off things, I do think that is the education process that Xbox have really been missing in the last couple of years. And I always use this example, but my core group of friends that I grew up with that really love video games and aren't nearly as dialed in as I am, but they play the Call of Duties, they play Halo, they care about this stuff. They want to play Halo, but they went PS5, and they every once in a while they'll see some TikTok or something that's like, oh, all the Xbox games are coming everywhere. And it's like, yeah, they are eventually, but not yet. And it's not Halo yet. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I try to explain to them, you can just get Game Pass. You can just use the cloud. But all that stuff, it's just, I'm overwhelming them with things that they don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This to me, I think is a great step towards a general understanding for people that are like one step removed from being full on in a gaming ecosystem. But I also think it goes a long way for people that are multiple steps removed, where they see the you can get with this or you can get with that commercial, and
you can go over
it gets you asking questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the next step is they need to bring the games. That's been the Xbox problem for many, many years. But all jokes aside, we're at a point now that I think it's undeniable that look at the last couple months and look at everything that they have talked about for next year. It does feel like we are already in the point of game coming out from them. Least of which Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right? With Game Pass. So I feel like this marketing campaign, hot off the heels of the latest Call of Duty, I think it can be really, really effective. And I also think that it's important for two very different demographics that are key for Xbox, which is the millennials and then the youth, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha. They don't want to be buying consoles. We're seeing that. We're seeing
Circana Group talks about this all the time in terms of the younger generations not being attracted to consoles. This is why PC gaming is getting a foothold of, if I was going to get something, why not get one machine that does so many other things?
Exactly. And I think that it's like just, the education to the kids of you don't need this box to be able to play Xbox games, and builds that up for them so that when Xbox is putting out monthly bangers or quarterly bangers or whatever it is, and a Call of Duty every year,
Game Pass and
all that stuff. It's like, all right, cool. When you hear the Xbox brand, you see a commercial for Gears E-Day or whatever. I think Gears is actually a perfect example of like that is a brand that is going to either for the young people potentially give them interest of, oh, I've never played a Gears game, but I know people love it, or for the millennial people of like, oh, I want to play the new Gears. It's been so long since I played a Gears. This looks great. How do I play it? And they've had at that point a year of this type of marketing explaining to them you don't need an Xbox. And hopefully that next step of them understanding what do I need is a quick Google away.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the thing. And I don't think the timing on this one is something to overlook, right? Obviously, we are on the forefront of Black Friday, where, of course, this is where all the video games go on sale. Everything happens, yada, yada, yada. Traditionally, this is where you'd see PlayStation or Xbox push their boxes and try to get you to get in with a bundle or something or some reason there. Xbox pulls the trigger here, gets out in front of that, starts talking about the fact that you already have an Xbox because you're watching this on a screen that is an Xbox, right? Why push that way? They're about to drop Indiana Jones in less than a month, right? Mm-hmm. A gigantic IP that speaks to an audience that might not necessarily be your traditional gamer. It is your friends who have lapsed from high school that don't play games. It is somebody who's even older than us that grew up with Indiana Jones and is not ready to jump into the console market. So the hope is you see this commercial for the next 3 weeks, then you see the Indiana Jones, and you're like, wait a second though, didn't you say my Xbox or my computer is an Xbox or my phone is an Xbox or blah, 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 TV? And you get to look into it with the Google search and figure it out that, oh my God, it's on Game Pass. So for $16, I could play this thing and enjoy it. Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that it's the combining of those concepts too that I think is going to go really far for them. Thinking to how PlayStation has its brand identity marketing campaigns of the different kind of eras of PlayStation and like all the different things, it only does everything and the best place to play and like all the things that they've done. Those are usually like end cards on the commercials and trailers, right? Imagine Indiana Jones. You watch that commercial on I will use football as an example, but I think that's a great example.
Mainstream stuff,
mainstream stuff that people are watching that are video game adjacent. Like clearly an audience that is willing to buy and invest in video games, but isn't necessarily already doing that or currently keeping up with doing that. I feel like you show the Indiana Jones trailer and end it with that little. Everything's an Xbox. Like you can play it on. You can switch them up even. Like play it on your TV. Play it on your this. Play it on your that.
That would be the interesting way, I think, to really market this and do it right. Is that when the trailer ends or whatever it is and remember Xbox and it is the Indiana Jones gameplay going into a phone, going into a TV, going into a computer, right? Or if you have internet, you have an Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have an internet connected device.
That is a very hard thing to explain to people because you don't believe it. It reminds me of the Switch. You see the commercial for the Switch and you're like, that's cool, but no way it's actually that seamless. And it took people experiencing it and it took yourself experiencing it to believe. And then all of a sudden people believe in what that is. I think it's just a very hard thing to wrap your head around because technology is advancing so quickly and the video game ecosystems are crystallizing to be this new modern expectation for how games are delivered and played, that I just think that there needs to be this kind of like check-in point of like, all right, everybody, this is a reset that everyone needs to understand how games are played nowadays because it is radically different than it was even just a couple of years ago.
Sure.
And I think now is that time. I feel like any time earlier would have been a little like jumping the gun. But
this is, I mean, like, again, like, this is a big day for them to do this. This is a big statement. And like I think for so many of us, we can scoff at it, laugh at the commercial, make the jokes that we're an Xbox. Nice they're leaning into the merch or whatever. Like, you know, they know it's a goofy slogan to a degree, right? Yeah. But it is the idea. We've all known this for a long time. But we've also said on this show for a long time, tell the audience, tell mainstream, tell other people that. And so, yeah, now it is this idea of like when you go through there and you see, I mean, shout out to them for showing different handheld devices, right? Like, you know, I know yesterday Phil was in the news confirming, even though it's years away, an Xbox handheld, but then here to show multiple handhelds running an Xbox, right? And streaming games that way. Like, making the case for that, but then also using the phone and also using the stuff. Like, they're saying what we've told them to say. They are, you know, putting into action the plan we've seen them building for so long.
Yep. And taking it one step further there, too. Like, I was saying this a bit yesterday when we were covering that story, but there, in the same way that I feel like there's incredible value in the education of these streaming services and just different ways to play games to the mainstream, because that is such a giant market and audience to be able to continue the growth of video games, especially getting out of this slump that we've been in the last couple of years. But I do feel like the bridge between console and PC is getting closer and closer, which is a great thing for all gamers out there to have options to be able to play games and more places and platforms of value to have developers be able to put games, to be able to have a big enough install base of people buying their games, even potentially buying their games, that audience. And I think that the portable PC gaming market, while small right now, is going to continue to grow astronomically in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I do think that when all said and done, 5-10 years from now, it's going to take up a sizable chunk of the market. I don't think it'll be near a majority, but I do think it can reach upwards of 10%. And that's very impressive. Like, that is, we're talking about tens and millions of people that could then result in even more money. So I think that them Xbox marketing themselves and talking about Xbox showing the ROG Ally is very, very, again, core to building the future so that when Xbox does put out their own portable, people expect it and understand what it is, and that it might not work how the PlayStation Portable did or a Game Boy did back in the day, but it works in this modern way with everything in conjunction. I just think this is great. I'm a big fan of them, and I feel like this has been needed, and I've been saying they need the education. I think this is it.
Again, like I've said it multiple times. I include I always say myself, but I include you and I include us. Like, kind of funny. I mean, we really are Xbox fanboys. Like, and I don't mean it in the way that we can't see the mistakes they make because we point them out all the time. It's the fact that I want them to do well. Xbox has been for years now doing something interesting and doing something different, and they're doing something interesting and doing something different because they lost. Let's not like.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to mince words and act like, oh, they chose this. No, they lost a generation, and it was, as Phil has said, the worst generation to lose. So they're like to see a company being competitive and trying to keep up and then pushing technology in a different space. I'm selfish, but as somebody who loves handheld gaming so much and loves remote play and now loves the cloud, like they have been building an ecosystem that I feel is built for me. Like when my Starfield obsession, I have talked to Andy, I've said it on shows, but like the thing of, man, I'm playing it here at work on the Xbox Series X on the stream. Now I'll play it at the S at my desk. Now I have a little time at home while Ben's I'm playing it on the cloud. Now I'm going to go downstairs and install it on, wait, I remember, Andy, I can install it on PC, right? And run it. He's like, yeah. Install it on this PC downstairs to see how good it could look. And like the save's just there. It's all just there. It's all just working. Everything's connected. It's like, that's really fucking awesome and impressive. And I want them to do well. And I want them to have the games to back it up. And I don't want them, to have a rough go of this. We've seen so many layoffs in the Xbox ecosystem this year, right? And you see them dealing with these mergers and acquisitions and then having extra people or having extra redundancies. And that fucking sucks. But I want to see Xbox be in a healthy place to push things forward through their own thing. And if inevitably the future is something like this, yeah? Like we are seeing a diminishing returns on selling a box, PlayStation included. We see it now with the PlayStation Pro, people not being thrilled with what they're getting for $700. What does that look like in the future? I like that Xbox is pushing the boundary that way and seeing what that can be. I like Game Pass. I like Xbox making deals with indies to get their games in front of people to supplement the Xbox big games they're making. Like Xbox makes a lot of interesting moves. They also step on a lot of rakes and fuck up their messaging and do this here and there, but it's also because they're able to talk. PlayStation says jack shit. So when they lay a bunch of people off or close the studio, like I guess that's just what they're doing, versus you go to Xbox and Phil said something a year ago that made it sound like that wouldn't happen or he wouldn't put the games there, blah, blah. Like they are trying to stay competitive in a marketplace in an industry that traditionally turns like the fucking Titanic. Like they are trying to actually be nimble in a space that is hard to be nimble in.
Yeah, absolutely. And will that pay off or will it ruin the industry? We'll have to wait and see.
We will.
Because Game Pass, I have a lot of concerns about, but I agree with the sentiment that you have.
Give me Avowed. Let's fucking go.
We got Manny
Move
Bagel Boy.
up the date.
Manny Bagel Boy Sanchez super chats in saying, I think the Xbox handheld would be the next gen of PC handhelds because at the moment, the portable PCs are Xbox already, which is why I think it's years away. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I do think that we need to just kind of have that clean entry point. I do think when Xbox puts out a handheld, it needs to work. It needs to work well. It can't just be like it's a okay device, but there's better options. It's like, and there could be better options, but there can't be clearly better options at a similar price point and all that.
This needs to be the PSVR 1. It's good enough. It is not the highest of the high VR specs, and you could go and spend a whole much more. This one works. It's plug and play. It does what it needs to. The experiences are good.
I think it needs to be more than that. I think it needs to be like, I don't even know if I can compare it to a VR system necessarily. But perhaps the Quest 3 or something where it's like it solves a lot of the problems that have existed already in the previous versions. Because I do feel like there are a ton of, in this commercial, they show the Ally, right? Like there are already things that do this and do this well. So I think Xbox needs to do it in some ways the best because it is inherent Xbox hardware.
Well, yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me. And I think what'll be the make or break for this thing is that I just want, and I know this sounds stupid, stick with me, a portable Xbox. And I want the portable Xbox experience. And I know that I'm going to sacrifice teraflops and 1080p's and whatever. I know it's not. I know I'm going to be getting, I assume, something on par with the S, which is terrifying as we get further and further away from the launch of the S. But I assume that's what I'll have in my hand or whatever. Maybe I can dock it and get more. Maybe I don't.
These are still lofty expectations. So
that sucks. But my thing is, I just want it to turn on and work and be an Xbox. I love my Steam Deck. I play my Steam Deck a lot. I've been playing it more than ever, honestly, right now. But I still have these moments where I turn the fucker on and it doesn't boot the game right. Or it does boot the game and then it's jaggy and running shittily. And I'm like, you're an indie. You shouldn't do this. And I go into the settings and I'm like, this is above what I know. So I'm turning on VSync. I'm turning off VSync.
These are all things they gotta figure out.
He's not at his fucking desk to tell me what to do. Yep. And then what do? I get a code on PlayStation. I play it on PlayStation. Caravan Sandwich. Can't wait to talk about it.
Caravan Sandwich, everybody. And then Foxy Steve says, with every screen being an Xbox, my question is, does Microsoft really need to release their own handheld, or can they just piggyback off an existing handheld? I mean, we've kind of touched on this, but I do think the move, the pro strat here is Get it right. Figure everything out on what exists, and then put out your own that makes it the simple answer for people that don't want to deal with any of the stuff. And it's just, this is the best way as an entry point for Xbox stuff. You're always going to be able to tinker in other places and spend more money. I do not think that I think a core thing for the Xbox handheld is it needs to be cheap. So it's not going to be $1,000. And so it will not be the best in every way by design, though. We're going to get to story number 2, which is me talking all about my time with Power Rangers Rita's
You got lots of super chats here, too, about this Xbox business.
We'll get to those later.
Yeah, we will.
Time, you know what I mean? But right now, here's a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kind of Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kind of Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kind of Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, the Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned Marvel Snap in my wedding vows because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. One of my favorite things about Marvel Snap is just how fast-paced it is. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so it's always a great time to pop in for a game or two. New cards are released every week, new seasons every month, and frequent events keep the game fresh and exciting. Each game takes only 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are, and with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find something new. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Forget the boring gifts this year. Shady Rays makes finding something special for everyone on your list easy. With premium polarized sunglasses that bring both clarity and comfort, you'll be giving a gift that they'll appreciate every time they step outside. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice this holiday season. Every pair of shades also comes with lost or broken protection. If those shades ever disappear or get damaged, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shady Rays makes gifting easy with a team ready to help with fast and friendly support. So, give the gift of quality, style, and worry-free wear this season with Shady Rays. Treat yourself for someone special. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDOFFUNNY for 40% off 2 or more shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. shadyrays.com, code KINDOFFUNNY. Story number 2. A couple days ago, Greg, I got to go over to the East Bay. I got to go to Digital Eclipse, and I got to play Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Exactly. That shit was blasting, and it made me feel good because I am a child of the 90s, as you very well know.
Yeah.
Grew up with Power Rangers, love Power Rangers very, very much. Obviously, it all started where it all began with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and to see them go back to a classic old school type of video game, this being the classic arcade brawlers where you're going left to right on the screen, punching people until you kill them all.
Hell
and then
yeah.
it says go, go, go. And then you get to go to the next screen, that whole thing. We've seen a couple of these in recent times.
I feel like there's a new TMNT one every day.
But there's not. There's absolutely not. There was one amazing one called Shredder's Revenge a year or two ago. And I do feel like that is the gold standard at which we're at play
agreed,
here,
100%. Yeah,
when it comes to these type of both nostalgia-driven games, but also just nostalgia from a IP base, but also from a gameplay style, where we just don't get much of these anymore. I mean, every once in a while we get great ones like Scott Pilgrim,
sure,
but that was a very long time ago at this point. But the cool thing is we never got a Power Rangers one.
Crazy.
We had X-Men, we had Simpsons, we had multiple Turtles, and that all made sense, specifically with ensemble casts. But to have the Power Rangers in the 90s be as big as they were, 5 or 6 characters here with the OG 5 and the Green Ranger, it's surprising that we never got one of these type of games, arcade-style games from the Power Rangers. On the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, we did get a couple Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games. Some of them were fighting games, and some of them were similar to this, but I would say closer to a more traditional, like, 2D platformer / single player beat 'em up. You know what I mean? Which are like or even a co-op thing like Retro City Rampage or something like that. That it's just a different type of game than this.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. You know what this feels like if it's done right.
Yes.
Just looking at it.
And I loved the Super Nintendo Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game.
Yeah.
Which is why I was thrilled at how many fun little Easter eggs and references to that game there are in this game.
Okay.
The people making this game clearly understand and care so much about the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and translating that to a genre of game that they clearly care about so much. A lot of good going on here. Something I really want to shout out is you could play with up to 5 players, obviously with all the Power Rangers, but that's awesome to have everyone on screen. Compared to other games like this, I was shocked at the sheer amount of characters on screen at once at points, especially if you had a full squad. But there was points we were fighting like 20 putties at once. And it's like, that didn't feel normal for like the Turtles games or other things. So it's like, it gets to be kind of chaos, but in a super fun way. Yeah.
Did you play with 5 other people or 4 other people?
So this is actually our gameplay.
Who are you?
I was the Black Ranger, Zach. Max Scoville was Jason the Red Ranger. And a dude named Nick that I met for the first time was my boy Billy in blue right there.
Nick.
Yeah, not our Nick though.
No. Our Nick wouldn't know what to do.
We were playing this all together, and what was really fun about this is it's takes itself seriously in the right ways, where Power Rangers is what it is, right?
Yeah.
You're actually playing through episodes of the show. Like
cool.
they're clearly calling them episodes that you're going through. But what's fun is this being Rita's Rewind. Last year, I want to say, they put out a anniversary special on Netflix called Once and Always for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And the plot of that was like Robo Rita came from the future and like is messing with time stuff and going back and whatever. So it's going through episodes from the classic show, but there's a twist.
Okay.
But there's but some things are kind of different and whatever. I'm like, all right, that's great because I feel like it allows you to just touch on all the nostalgic shit that you expect, but also surprise you in some fun ways. The gameplay is interesting because the stages that we played 2 different episodes.
How long is an episode? Ballpark.
30 minutes total. That sounds like a lot. Maybe like 20 minutes total, but it's in 3 different sections where you start off doing the traditional kind of left to right, brawling with your friends, going through, just punching and kicking everybody. You also have when you get your power meter all the way up, you can use a special and your power coin comes and each one has different elemental things. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
But then they switch it up with these very intensely Super Nintendo and Genesis styled vehicle stages. Where you get into it's a classic Power Ranger thing. You beat up the bad guy. Rita's like, make my monster grow, and then the bad guy, monster of the week, turns big, and they play the scene the classic scene of all the Zords, the dino
running
Zords together, and then you actually like here it is. Thank you, Barrett.
Go Power
and then you actually control in a Genesis style, face the camera,
that's cool.
Shoot 'em up,
That's fun.
going up against like the big Goldar here, but. What's fun is the pixel art, awesome in this game. Animation style, awesome. There's a lot of fun and variation in terms of how they present the story. And a lot of it just feels very, like you can even see here, they're using a lot of the effects of the Super Nintendo era, like the Mode 7 scaling and all of that stuff. The blast processing of the Sega Genesis, like all that old school shit. They're just throwing everything in at once, which is pretty fun. And then after this phase, what you expect to happen does happen. All the Zords join together to form the Megazord. There's a super sweet transformation scene, and then you are playing a Punch-Out style game against the boss.
Okay.
Where Bear, there is footage of this as well. If you could pull it up, if you have a second. Where so you get the sick ass transformation scene, and then we have like Goldar's going to come at you, and it's framed very much like Punch-Out. And you need to dodge his hits with left and right, just like Punch-Out, and you're controlling the left and right hands as you're punching. What's cool about this is you take turns controlling it.
I was going to say, how are you playing with multiple people?
So I was playing right here. This is me.
That's why you're so good at it.
No, just trying to get my head wrapped around it. And then after I fuck up, it then goes to the next person. They get a shot. I want you guys to see me die here. I think it's about to happen soon.
Been saying it for years.
Yeah, right here. So then, you see all the Rangers like, and it's like, I got it from here.
We're getting pummeled out there.
Yeah, and then you switch off. So what I appreciate about it is it's very authentic to Power Rangers, and it's simple, it's fun. You're playing with friends. You can jump in, jump out the same way you can imagine a game like this working that's retro but modern at the same time. And I feel like the gameplay switches up frequently enough that you're not doing the same thing over and over too much, at least in what we played. Once you beat the boss in between the episodes, you then get to go to Ernie's juice bar from the show. You can walk and talk to different NPCs, including Bulk and Skull. Of course. Their little theme music plays when you talk to them. There's just a lot of Power Rangers love put into this. I'm stoked for it. Really excited for more. I want to see what other weird surprises they have. Some of the set pieces that they have in this were really cool. They do the classic, you're on an elevator outside of a building as it goes up, and enemies just keep jumping on. You know what I mean? You have to beat them like as they're like going from like the normal putties to the putties with knife hands to the putties with bigger like hammer arms. Like it just like advances and advances. But then when you get to the top, a big thing happens, and all of a sudden the elevator starts falling down to the floor as you're like have to fight more people. And it was just like a super fun thing where I'm like, wow, this shows such a love of these retro style games.
Well, I mean, that's Digital Eclipse, man. That's Digital Eclipse. They're such a talented developer and publisher. Just like wanting to not only make modern retro games, but also like, protect what retro games were, I think, and kind of be caretakers of that, right? They did the making of Karateka, whatever that thing, the game. The game that was also a documentary or whatever that everybody flipped out for last year and stuff. Like they do amazing stuff over there. So I would expect nothing less. My one thing though, it sounds like a very positive preview. You had a lot of fun.
Yes.
But is it TMNT? We've talked about that being the gold standard, that being the one.
In my experience with this game so far, it is not. I do think it is a step down. I can excuse that to an extent, though. I feel like the amount that was put into Shredder's Revenge, I think, is just different. I think the budget levels is playing, but there's love and care put in this. They are very different games. This, in terms of gameplay, I was very impressed with Shredder's Revenge of like how deep it felt compared to the old school games. This feels on par with the old school games. It is a lot of hitting the same buttons over and over. Some of the Zord controls, as you're like doing the more like motorcycle chase stuff, didn't feel great to play. Wasn't bad, but it just didn't feel like it was like, oh, I'm fully in control of this character and having a good time. It reminded me a lot of old arcade games, right? Where you're playing and it's like it's fun because you're playing a video game, but like it's not necessarily like the best thing. And then the Punch-Out Megazord stuff, really hard for me to wrap my head around. Like we were really getting our ass kicked for like that took us a lot longer to beat than I think was planned. But it was still very cool. So like I definitely am not writing this off. I can't wait to play through this game. I just want to set expectations that I don't think this is the level of Shredder's Revenge. I also don't think it needs to be. I would say that what I played, I'd give a 7 out of 10, which is good. And I'm definitely excited to play more. As a fan of this style of game and a fan of Power Rangers, they're doing right by this one. And I am very happy that it exists. And when you're fighting, the Power Ranger music kicks in. Yeah.
I want to play with you when you get it.
Let's do it. Story number 3. Pokemon trading card game Pocket confirms plans for much requested feature. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. Pokemon trading card game Pocket has shared a roadmap update, including confirmation of new booster packs, trading, and more. First off, we'd like to use this opportunity to thank everyone who's waited in anticipation of the release, as well as everyone who has given the game a try. We are continuing to develop and operate the game so that everyone can enjoy it even more. We plan to hold a variety of in-game events going forward. Now then, today we'd like to announce new content planned to be released in a future major update. To begin with, we plan to add new booster packs by the end of the year. Hell yes.
Do you have all the cards yet?
I do have all the cards.
Okay.
To be clear, I have all the cards in the set. I have 226, I have 226. There's all the secret rares and stuff. Missing about 15 total.
Damn.
Got it.
I'm 10 away, Tim.
When we get trading, I'll be able to hook you up, and then we'll be good. In addition, we're aiming to add a new feature that allows certain cards to be traded starting January 2025. We're planning to gradually expand the selection of cards that are able to be traded. It also added, we have new features in development outside of the trade feature introduced here. We plan to announce more details about the update as the dates for the addition of these features are finalized, so please look forward to it. And I will.
I will look forward to it.
And I will. How much do you play in this?
Not that much.
Yeah.
I play here and there, but not like you guys.
Yeah.
You guys live this thing. Usually what happens is I open it up, I do my packs, and then I bounce.
Yeah.
But I also
Which
forget.
is cool though, right?
Oh yeah, totally. But I often forget to do my packs. Like yesterday's tweet, I got this guy, I got a shiny
Ooh,
Gengar.
nice little Gengar, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know what any of this means.
Oh, it's good.
But I know the more shiny the card, the more excited
That's
you guys
usually
are.
how things
So I'm
work.
stoked about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with
I don't
that.
have any of the gold cards yet,
Okay.
which makes me really sad.
Like
The
Andy
gold,
got one yesterday, right?
Andy got the gold Pikachu.
Yeah.
Very hype stuff. But
I
yeah,
was jealous of him until I remembered that I also have that one.
that's very funny. But yeah, and Big E5 says certain cards just makes me groan though. I kind of like it. I mean, we'll have to see what the certain cards means and how that rollout works. But like, I like the kind of hoarding some of the doubles that you have for that one day when something like nice comes out. You need to trade your friend. You're like, you know what? I got some backups of this, so we're gonna be ready for it. Like, I kind of like staying in it, you know?
Yeah.
But they have to keep updating. There has to be more events and stuff. I feel like so far they've done a good job. But I definitely want to see it continue. And knowing we're gonna get new boosters by the end of this year, very important, I think, for the longevity of this game and also for me because I need new cards.
Yeah, of course.
Story number 4.
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, usually what happens, I open my packs or whatever, and then I'm like, man, I don't understand Pokemon enough for this. And then I go right back to Monster Hunter now. So where are we at with Monster Hunter now, Tim? Have you come to join me yet?
No.
Now, come on. You can only play so much Pokemon Go.
I don't think I can. I can play a lot, and I've proven that as I play every freaking day.
Hold on.
My morning routine is now
in,
twice as long because of Pokemon trading card game. And then I'm just here playing Pokemon.
I'm gonna do this.
35 years old.
I'm gonna say,
Wow.
everybody, go ahead and add.
Still doing it.
Go ahead and add. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and add Genevieve there.
Story number 4. It looks like Astro Bot is getting even more DLC cameos.
The cut back to Tim as close as possible.
It appears that Astro Bot's set to receive even more cameo bots in the future. The last of 5 free DLC speedrun stages for the game is released today, but the game's credits were recently updated to include references to other characters
Dun, dun, dun.
who have yet to feature. Each of the DLC stages has added more new cameo bots, but not every IP listed in the credits has been featured. For a while now, the credits have listed Rayman, Beyond Good and Evil, Assassin's Creed, and Croc Legend of the Gobos. None of these games have featured as cameo bots in the game yet. However, as spotted on the Astro Bot Reddit page, the credits were recently updated again to add the line Toomba Special Edition. Copyrights 2024 Whoopee Camp. All rights reserved, published by Limited Run Games. This means there are now at least 5 IPs yet to be accounted for. That's cool. That's interesting. Yesterday I was talking to Barrett about the speedrun challenge levels because I forgot where we were at. I had only played 2 or 3 of them. And then yesterday I booted up my PlayStation 5, realized, oh, I have 2 of these I haven't even played yet.
Wow.
Played through them. What a blast. Now I have another one today. Great time to be alive.
Yeah.
You go in, Greg, you beat it the first time, you save one of them bots, then you have to beat your score, then you can save the other bot. I love it. That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
Give me that forever, and I'll be a happy little camper. I don't think they're going to continue to do that. These missing things, if I had to bet, because I don't want to get too excited.
Don't get too excited, but he's betting. He's
way
betting.
more like DLC, because that would be the dream. I do think this is going to be like Spirits in Smash Brothers, where even after the game was done and the DLC packs were done, whatever, they would just like add themed like spirit things you could do, spirit challenges that are like essentially just turn the game on, you get the fucking spirit.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I'm here for that. I love spirits. I love collecting these damn things. I love the updates. So yeah, especially when we're looking at the type of games we're talking about here, knowing that Croc game's coming out soon, right? I think the remastered Croc collection, I think that's like next month. So I feel like that'd be a cool little fun collab situation.
In the DLC, did you collect from the Gacha machine the PlayStation 5 Pro?
No.
Oh, that's because it's not in there. Huh. It's almost like Victor Lucas from Electric Playground. What's supposed to be an upstanding Canadian company run by a Canadian man still hasn't paid me the pizza for when he came in here and foolishly made a pizza bet saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro at announce would be added to Astro Bot. And then I said, not a chance, maybe. And then I might have extended it to like the launch of the PlayStation 5 Pro, which has come and gone. Still no PlayStation 5 Pro in Astro Bot. So Victor Lucas, America asks you, where's the pizza? All right, where's the pizza? Everyone go to the latest Electric Playground video. Go to Victor Lucas on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever you see him in the street and just go, where's the pizza? We need a movement right now. And it's the pepperoni movement.
It's not that movement. Oh my God, we have too much power here. Story number 5, Gearbox, Bethesda, and Epic veterans reveal.
Imagine if this is a blessing episode. He's like, here's the news. All right, bye. You know what I mean? I've never met a kid who needs a Shawn Michaels super kick more than blessing. Warm up the band, Shawn. We need you.
Oh my Lord. Gearbox, Bethesda, and Epic veterans revealed their new multiplayer Suburban Invasion game. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC.
A ringing endorsement.
I don't know, man. Ruckus Games, the studio set up by Gearbox, Bethesda, and Epic Games veterans, has shown off its upcoming debut title. The currently unnamed project is described as a session-based suburban invasion game combining RPG elements, crafting, town building, and more. Ruckus Games was set up in 2021 following the departure of a number of senior staff members from Gearbox. The studio is led by CEO and game director Paul Sage, who was director on creative director on Borderlands 3 and Elder Scrolls Online. The debut game will see Scott Kester in the art director role. Kester was art director on Borderlands 3. This new title will offer co-op for up to 4 players in an evolving world that will be updated with new emergent content over time, the studio says. Set in a reminiscent era amid the backdrop of the American heartland, players are thrust in the shoes of everyday people, forced to become heroes when the town comes under attack. It's not clear what is behind the strange events, and things don't quite seem to add up. The studio recently secured $19 million of Series A funding to continue development of the game. Interesting. Town coming under attack and suburban invasion game sound different to me. I get that technically that is the same thing, but I have a real specific image in my mind of suburban invasion and I don't like it.
It's fucking, what's the Red Dawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're like the Russians are invading a small town or whatever, or it's like Far Cry 5 of like, here's an American town that's been taken over by extremists or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. So
I thought more gentrification. That's where my mind went.
Oh, okay.
Suburban invasion.
Invasion, like from the
That's
suburban.
more urban invasion, right?
Yeah,
Well, it depends which way we're invading. I think he's saying the suburbs are invading the city.
yeah.
That's what his thing was.
That's
versus
terrifying.
the city invading the suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Invasion of the suburbs.
You know, I when we said I was with you, like these are some weird adjectives that are being thrown around. Whatever is going on here. Now, What's Good says, wasn't Red Dawn the Koreans? Aren't you thinking of the new Red Dawn? Remember when they remade Red Dawn? There was an old Red Dawn that I think was the Russians. Then they remade Red Dawn, and it was going to be China, and then they were like, wait, that'll sink our box office. So then they made it the Koreans. I think that's how it was. Let me know.
My mom had a friend named Dawn.
Sorry, no? You have
My
a friend
mom had
named
a friend
Dawn?
named Dawn.
You know who's named Dawn? Poe's mom.
Oh shit! Wait, his dad's named Don too, but it's a different type of Don.
D-O-N.
These are big revelations.
D-A-W-N.
Big revelations we're making here, Greg.
Right now, by the way, Blessing would have been like, all right, have a great, and he would have hung up already. The show would be over. You would have gotten no entertainment value.
No entertainment value,
You know
everyone.
what I mean? He'd be out here telling you about breakdancing.
Big breakdancing moves Bless is doing out there.
Anyways, I'm getting too hot making fun of Bless. So I'm taking off this thing. No. So back to this, like, an interesting one, the art style that they showed there from the concept art. You go, okay, kind of looks like whatever. You know what I mean? Of like, this looks like generic what concept. But the main thing about it, I would say, is this is a team that, you know, I know we talk about this all the time, is talented or whatever. That what is that actually in a new studio, jumping in, blah, blah. Paul Sage, I know pretty well from the Borderlands show when we did all the Borderlands 3 content coverage. Paul's got a great head on his shoulders. As they read through this got, I think, a bit more interesting, right? For me, at least, of RPG elements, crafting, town building. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan there, but you know, co-op for 4 players, evolving world. It's something I'll keep my eyes on and see what it actually turns out. But again, we're talking about it now and we're seeing concept art now. How far removed from getting this game out there? How many more games will there be like this? What will we be playing by the time this actually launches? A bunch of different conversations. And yes, Chad, I see you.
Oh, that was. I don't even have anything more. I had it. I had many.
Jumped into more WWE 2K last night. Had to. You know what I mean? Got that Mr. Perfect WCW pack dropped yesterday, so I had to get in there.
Big deal.
Ran through, did a much more of my faction stuff. Then I was like,
You're
you know
trying
what?
so hard,
Tim. I know.
I haven't updated. I'll give you some big news. I haven't updated the titles in a long time. It's on me. In my game,
Definitely.
Gunther still has the IC title. I was like, well, fuck that noise. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I went and just gave it to Jey Uso. We had a whole match out there.
Good.
The ECW One Night Stand Arena. It was a big match.
Hell yeah. So big, Greg. That match sounds just giant, big stuff. But if I wanted something small, the littlest news I could possibly know, where would I go?
You'd go to the Wii News channel, where we cover all the tiny news items you need to know about.
Little wee news for you. Nominees for the Game Awards will be revealed on Monday, and we will talk about them. In fact, we're going to talk about them in multiple places. We're going to talk about what's announced as nominees on Games Daily, and then the GamesCast will be us doing our predictions of who wins from each of those categories. From Variety, Mythic Quest Season 4 and its new companion anthology series, Side Quest, have set their premiere dates at Apple TV+. Mythic Quest returns for its 4th season, January 29th, with 2 new episodes as the premiere, followed by 1 new episode weekly until March 26th, at which point 4 episodes of Ashley Birch's Side Quest will then debut on March 26th. Barrett, exciting news as a fellow fan of Mythic Quest. And if y'all aren't watching Mythic Quest, you should.
Absolutely.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV, and it's very funny.
Remember back in 2019 when they announced that at the Ubisoft press conference, and we were all like, what the fuck is this?
Why would they do
this?
this?
And it's honestly one of the best modern shows out there.
I'm right there with you.
It's crazy.
And the best of the show is that every season there's like at least one flashback episode where they like focus on a specific character. That's what this entire spin-off show is. Right.
I'm excited for that. Those are some of the best episodes throughout the main show. So yeah. That's
CJ saying, is Danny Pewdie still in Mythic Quest? I never watched it. Yes, he is. He's one of the main characters. It's great
He's
stuff.
such a piece of shit, but he does it so well. God.
It's good. Good show, everyone.
So
From Charlie Intel, all of your unused Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone double XP tokens have now shown up in Black Ops 6 multiplayer and zombies with the Season 1 update. That's cool. That sounds like good news,
It is.
right?
Yeah. If you had all this stuff, get it out there. Give it to them. Why not have it? Access it. Use it.
That feels very fair and not greedy monetization of video games.
Oh, that's
Infinity Nikki launches on PlayStation 5, PC, and mobile on December 5th. Atomfall launches on March 27th on Xbox One, the series, PS4 and 5, and PC. Also, Game Pass Day 1. The Rogue Prince of Persia, the second act update, launches November 21st. Resident Evil 2 Remake launches December 10th on iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Warcraft 1 and 2 Remastered are out now, and this looks awesome. I saw a trailer for this yesterday. I'm not a big Warcraft guy because I'm not a big 90s PC guy, but I love that the trailers show the game and then they do the like remastered and it just like goes widescreen, but like it keeps the heart and soul of the game intact. Like I wish we got more of that. We've been getting a lot of it for games, but specifically Nintendo, I'd love for them to go back and like specifically
you want to pay again. Pay again for these
the
games.
Donkey Kong Country trilogy in widescreen. Is that too much to ask for? We got Sonic Origins. We got 10 million versions of Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? I've been playing Sonic 1, 2, and 3 every year since I was born, Greg. Give me Donkey Kong Country. The 4th Astro Bot speedrun level, Rising Heat, is now available. Grimoire Grove comes out in March and it looks awesome.
Yeah, this one happened while we were in ad break. I tossed it in there. It's this roguelite dungeon crawling crafting, but you're a witch. They I think described it as Hades meets Animal Crossing, and those are things I really like. And so I looked at this and I said, yeah, this looks good.
Huh. What a combo.
Yeah.
And then a serious thing here, a really, really upsetting, sad, serious thing here. Friend of the show, Imran Khan, is going through a very, very, very scary health situation right now. He posted on Blue Sky yesterday saying, "Don't fuck around with sleep apnea. I ignored mine for too long. I had a stroke, and I'm now in a rehab ward trying to learn how to rewire my brain to walk and use my left hand again." Very scary stuff.
Very scary. We
Send
love Imran.
Sweet,
obviously.
nasty love out to Imran, please. He needs it for sure right now. Scary as hell.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, totally. I was just at Ben's swim lesson last night, and phone popped with Joey putting this in a general Slack, and it's like, what? Like Imran was just here like a week ago.
Yeah.
In his pea coat, looking great.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I mean, of course, I feel like he just got married, even though it was quite a while ago. But you know what I mean? Like him and Reb starting this life together. It's just like, damn, like this shit can happen to anybody. So yeah, make sure you're, getting checked out and everything, and don't put off the little things like this. I never knew sleep apnea could lead to you having a stroke. That's outrageous. So yeah, everybody learn from Imran and go out there and get the help you need. And obviously, best wishes to Imran and speedy recovery and everything else.
Yep.
So you can get back here, tell us more weird things about Japanese games.
He's very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. But yeah, everyone send that love Imran's way.
We sent him flowers.
Fantastic.
You let me write the card.
I did.
Yeah.
I need to stop doing that. I need to stop doing that. What'd you write?
I know we said you were dead to us when you left San Francisco, but this is ridiculous. We got his ass. We got his ass so good. Oh my God.
We have some super chats here. Let's start from the top here. We got Zach Pulliam saying, happy first birthday to my son, Cloud. I love you, buddy. Hell yeah.
Aww.
Happy birthday, Cloud. And what a fun name. I love that.
Happy birthday to you.
Diego says, when are we going to get Roger's base on Kind of Funny Games Daily? I'd love to do that, man. I love Roger so much, and I have never found a way or / excuse to get him on Kind of Funny content. I would love to do it in person, though, but he's very rarely in San Francisco. But one day, I want to make this happen for sure.
Wait, we're not talking about our Roger?
Yeah, well, I don't know who this man is.
No, Roger's Base is a YouTuber that focuses, I'd say, mainly on anime stuff, but is like one of the biggest Nintendo fans I know. And like his enthusiasm for Nintendo stuff is it inspires even me. The amount of times I've watched his reactions to Smash Brothers trailers, countless. It just brings me so much joy seeing him care so much. And who can relate? This guy can relate. Okay, Greg?
You can relate.
But yeah, I've seen Roger every once in a while, like E3s through the years and stuff, and he's just infectious positivity. Love him so much. But I feel like with the Switch 2 coming next year, we got to find some excuse to make some shows together. Do you have something to say, Barrett? I saw you there a second ago.
No, when you said Roger's base, I was like, what are they talking about with Roger? Like, they won his ass on the show? Like, get Roger's ass on the show or something like that? I was very confused.
I think it's a One Piece situation. He seems to really like One Piece, but I don't understand One Piece. I didn't know pirates were involved until last year, and now I'm embarrassed.
What? Oh,
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything.
One Piece is about pirates and friendship, and then it's about burning the systems down.
Yeah, that's usually how things go.
God, it's so good.
We got C-Bent saying, I just want to support. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, C-Bent. We appreciate you. CJ Splitson says, instead of an Xbox logo, it should be a slideshow of devices.
At the end of ads.
Maybe, perhaps.
I remember this popping through when we were talking about it.
Interesting.
That means he doesn't agree.
I don't know that I agree. I need to see it in my head. Because I do feel like it's important to keep the Xbox brand. Because I think that we need to push through how are you going to call it an Xbox if there's no box? Like, we need to push through that. We just need people to understand the Xbox brand is not going anywhere. If it was
still think that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Greg, this whole thing just came out. This marketing campaign, you're going to see a lot. You're going to see people be like, boys in the box. You can quote it.
I didn't know there's so many dumbass Muppets walking around. You know what I mean?
Andrew VT says, thing for Wii News, Holocure is getting... Yeah, that's right. Holocure is getting a big update tonight. It's a Vampire Survivors-like game. It's free on Steam, no microtransactions or anything.
Oh.
Cool. Alex J. Sandoval says, I did like an hour of digital forensics to recall a song Greg recommended back in 2020. C'est bon pour le moral.
C'est bon pour le moral. C'est bon pour le moral. This is when I had my eyes dilated and I was driving home and I couldn't see, but I was listening to this awesome song from Quebec.
Having a great time. Do you have any new French bangers to share?
Charlotte Cardin, who I'm a big fan of, she came through the show last year, almost like a year ago. She came through and did the singing competition with me before I saw her live in San Francisco. Her partner, Alioshi, just put out a new album. and she sings on one of the songs with him. I want to say it's called Ensemble, but it's really, really good. I mean, Alyoshi's always been great since I saw him open for Charlotte Cardin so long ago. Before I knew they were an item. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But they've been together, turns out, forever.
Speaking of item that's been together forever, Gary Yarbrough writes in saying some KFBF joy. My wife and I have been long distance for 2.5 years waiting for her visa. She lands tonight.
Hey!
Thanks for helping through hard times. Congratulations, y'all. Love wins, everybody. That's great to see. Have some fun.
What if she doesn't come? You know what I mean? What if the plane lands and he's like waiting with the flowers and the sun just never comes? It's not going to happen, but just what if? Say bump, bump, look, my rap. Ha, ho! Say bump, bump, look, my rap. Hey, oh! Boule, boule.
There's moments.
Dance,
you know what I mean?
dance.
Where you're like, how do you respond? Do you respond? Do you just move on? Do you make it worse? And I'm going to make the call not to do any of that right now. Actually, I will move on. Ryan Chenard says, I just want to celebrate platinum number 300 with Kind of Funny. Greg may remember me from PS I Love You XOXO episode 6, where I was chasing number 200. Well, I did it. And now I'm on my way to 400. Thanks, guys. I love how that works. You know what I mean?
Constantly
Attain a goal, gotta make a new one.
Set the new
immediately.
Remember Miley Cyrus told you it was the climb, you know? You can't ever be done.
You're right. You're right. God bless Miley Cyrus. And God bless you for hanging out with us today, watching this amazing episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily that we'll definitely not get in any trouble with from anybody, including Imran. Greg.
Imran, that's who you're worried about.
You know, I moved on from the other thing that you said, okay? We don't need to reference it again.
Imran gets out of this hospital bed. All right. He won't want to fuck with me. I'll be too powerful. It's
powerful.
It's blessing over there you got to be worried about.
All right, everybody. We're about to do
the jilted lover at the airport. You know what I mean?
Kind of Funny Games.
Look how high I can kick, all right? Yeah. You know what I mean?
He kicks really well,
I'll bring
everyone.
it out here. I'll kick everybody.
We're about to do GAMESCAST. That's finally going to be us talking about how greedy game monetization we are. You get the hell I'm saying. After that, the boys are going to Warzone. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.